Welcome back to Attitude, Effort, Results, presented by Attitude, Effort, Results, and the Clubhouse. If you guys have not checked out the Clubhouse, this episode specifically, you need to. Check out the Clubhouse. There are 160 plus mentors in the sports industry specifically ready to help you. Just do it. The Clubhouse is awesome, and they are growing with us, and they are housing our episodes on their website like an Attitude, Effort, Results library. And guess what? We're helping people. We're impacting people, and that's what it's about. In addition to the Clubhouse partnership, we also have partnerships with Iowa, Xavier, Tampa, Baylor, TCU, University of North Carolina, working with Wake Forest, working with potentially the ACC, and the NCAA Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Come on. If you got schools out there, you're a part of one that has a sport and rec management or sport business program, and you want Hunter and I to speak, you want Hunter and I to gain knowledge for you, just invite us, because we're doing this for you. So if we can come speak directly to you, that's exactly what we want to do. Massive announcement again today. Not tomorrow. I've hinted at it the last couple weeks, but today it's here. It's final. It's ready. We're partnering with Baylor, officially, and the S3 program. The reason why this is important is because Baylor and the S3 program run the National Collegiate Sports Sales Competition every year in February in Atlanta. And guess what? If any part of you ever, potentially, maybe, hopefully, don't know what I want to do, but potentially might want to, in some capacity, at one point, want to get into sports sales, this is something you have to do. This is not a maybe, this is not a potentially, this is you have to do. It's the best in the country. It is the best in the country. Baylor's S3 program is the best in the country. If you're a high school student out there that wants to get into sports sales, go to the University of Iowa, but if that doesn't work, go to Baylor. We are going to do an episode today focused on sales, focused on this new partnership that we have with Baylor and the S3 program and the NCSSA. We're going to do it. The also reason for this episode is because another listener, come on, Matt Balava, keeps sending us questions to ask you, and we're going to help you. Because the more that you guys send us episode requests, the more we get to help people. Because if you have a question, somebody else probably has the same. So let's get into it. I'm going to give you a disclaimer to start. This episode's about sales. We will walk through today the sales process that we have learned over the last 6 years that I've been in the business, in the industry, and the last year and a half that Hunter's been in it. And before you turn the episode off, because you're like, I don't really want to do sales. Sales is slimy, sales is sleazy. I want to give you one point that you have never heard before. One point that you have never heard before. There are only 2 skills in this world. That's it. You've never heard that before, I promise you. There are only 2 skills in this world. That is it. Just 2 of them. And now you're sitting there like, this guy's crazy. Well, guess what? If you've listened to episodes before, you already know that's true. And now you're kind of on the edge of your seat like, dude, can you please just tell me the 2 skills? Because I'm kind of on my edge of my seat, and now I'm listening. So before you turn this off, let's just listen to this one thing. There are only 2 skills in the world. That is sales, and that is service. That's it. Every career can be put under those 2 umbrellas. All mail service, FedEx, UPS, what are they doing? They're serving. All medical professions, serving people. Police, ambulance, firefighters, service. A lot of service industries out there. If you're not servicing, you're selling. Every business out there has to sell something to produce revenue. You're like, oh, not the nonprofits. Well, guess what? They're serving. Think of any profession or career. You either sell or you service. Some of you are like, well, marketing, that's not selling or servicing. You're serving the salespeople by creating marketing. What about social media? You're servicing the salespeople by creating content. You're either selling or servicing. So before you turn this off, because this episode will be densely about sales, I challenge you to listen to it to learn a skill. I challenge you to listen to it because sales is not about selling. Sales is about communicating. And communication is one of the biggest pieces and biggest skills that you can learn in your life is communicating. So listen to this episode not because you want to learn about sales, but because you want to learn how to communicate. When I was getting into the industry, I thought sales was pretty slimy. Not going to lie. Slimy, sleazy, car salesman. Didn't like it. Nobody likes to be sold. Nobody likes to get calls, cold calls. Nobody likes to get sold. But people love buying stuff. There's actually a credit card problem in this world because people love buying stuff. Well, guess what? If you're buying something, somebody is selling it to you. Well, no, not if I purchased it online. Nobody sold it to me. Amazon is selling it to you. And guess what? Those marketers are helping Amazon sell it to you. Nobody loves to get sold, but everybody loves to buy. Everybody loves to buy. You love buying things, don't you? Sales skills are needed in life. They are needed in life. I use them every single day in my conversations, and I urge you to listen to this episode and apply these skills to your professional and your personal life. Here's a couple takeaways that Hunter and I have had from sales so far. And again, the reason we're doing this is because Baylor S3 is putting on this national competition in February in person. They're doing an online one right around this time right now, which is why we're releasing it now. So if you're in school and you're in college, you should go sign up for that. And after you listen to this, hopefully you have a couple skills to take away. Biggest takeaways that sales have taught us so far. Time is your most valuable asset. You don't ask for somebody to purchase a product originally. You ask for their time. If you get on a sales call or a call in general, you're not asking somebody to sell something right away or somebody to buy something right away. You're asking for their time. Every time you talk to your family member, your significant other, your coach, your boss, you're asking for time. The second is improved communication skills. Communication skills are everything. They allow you to cultivate those relationships we talked about. Communication skills allow you to get in rooms that you don't belong in. They allow you to touch your dreams from last episode. Communication skills are massive in today's day and age, and they are deteriorating because of our phones, because people just stare at a screen all day. If you can be a master communicator, the world is your oyster, and you will be able to do whatever, whenever you want if you can communicate at a very high level. The third thing is utilizing a tool for efficient scheduling and managing your calendar. That's important. Fourth, the relationships you develop with your clients are priceless. The relationships that you develop, the communication skills that you have, utilize those to develop good relationships, and that's how you grow faster. That's how you shorten the gap. Old saying, you want to know how to get to the top of the mountain? Ask the people coming back. Utilizing those relationships that you develop with your clients are priceless. Attention to detail is another one. Sales numbers, your signature, accurate information, correct selling process, correct information gathering. All of this is important in your everyday life, not just sales. And guess what? The sports industry is unlike any other. A total of 153 teams from across the 5 major sports. Everybody knows everybody. A connection is more than likely only one person away. Hunter and I can get to every team, all 53 of them. Maybe I'm lacking in the MLS department. At least 140 of teams in America I can get to in one phone call, if not two. let's dive in. I'm going to start the heavy part of this episode with the best thing about sales. The greatest thing about sales. And after hearing this, you're going to be like, I want to get into sales. The best thing about sales is that you fail 90% of the time. You're like, great, now I really want to work in sales. Thanks. That probably fires you up, right? The greatest thing about sales is you fail 97% of the time. All right, maybe that's not the best thing about sales, but it is true. And if you know that going into it, you're going to be light years ahead mentally than everybody else because it's a game of numbers. If you take more at-bats, you have a better chance of selling more. So knowing that early on sets you up for success. Young individuals going into this Baylor S3 competition, know that. It's about numbers. So try to fine-tune your process. Try to utilize the skills that we're about to walk through. Try to create a script. Try to create a flow that is meaningful, that is impactful, that gives yourself a better chance. But at the end of the day, it is a numbers game. I win because I take more at-bats. I'm not the most talented on my team, but I will always be in the top of our organization. Not the top because there's some dogs on our team, but I will always be around the top simply because I take more at-bats. That's number one. If you can take anything out of today, take that. Let's dive into it. How do we start a sales process? We start a sales process by prospecting. If you've never heard the term before, prospecting is you yourself going to get new business. In organizations, you will have cold leads, you will have warm leads, you will have hot leads. Warm and hot leads come into you. That will be anything that you ever click on Instagram, that you're a hot lead for some company somewhere. A hot lead is utilizing marketing that works. You see an ad for Game Time or Ticketmaster or StubHub, which we do not partner with in any way, and you click on it. That allows that company now has your information. A salesperson gets that information. They reach out to you. That's a hot lead. We're not talking about hot leads today. Those are inbound. Don't need them. You'll get them. Those are easier to sell anyways. We're going to talk about the hard stuff. We don't need the easy stuff. The hard stuff is a cold prospecting. Why is it cold? Because it sucks. Nobody likes it. And it takes a long time to warm up. And you start by prospecting. How do you prospect? Where do you prospect? Who do you prospect? Dumb it down. Dumb it down and just understand what's around you. Who's your clientele? What companies have money to do what you're doing in the sports industry? What companies are entertaining their clients? What companies are entertaining their people? And now you can go out and you can prospect in any way possible. My mind, when I see anything, I just looked at my Stanley Cup. You want a sticker? Reach out. Stanley Cup. There's an Xbox over here. There's a Bose speaker right there. Those are all. I'm looking at a Sony camera. I'm looking at a Dell computer. All of those are prospects. All of those are prospects. Any billboard you ever see is a prospect. Any restaurant, any company you ever see is a prospect. So don't overthink the prospecting part of it. Because you can take pictures of billboards, advertisements, up-and-coming businesses in the surrounding area, right? As an elite individual, specifically in sports, because that's where I'm coming from, your prospecting brain never turns off. Never turns off. When you go to another sporting event, concert, workouting, etc., make mental notes of those companies. You don't think if I go to a Diamondbacks game and I see some advertising on a wall, that company just paid a ton of money to be on that wall, why would I not give them a phone call? They're already shown that they spend money in a sports and entertainment area. Why would I not give them a phone call, right? Turn your prospecting brain on. Make mental notes of your experience and the sponsors surrounding the event that you're at. We have tools to help us connect and find businesses. We use Sales Intel, RevDriver, ZoomInfo, LinkedIn Business. I use the Phoenix Business Journal a lot. You can go to the New York Times and just look at businesses that are growing or coming to your area. There are tools out there, but to simplify the prospecting process, know who your clientele is, understand, learn, and listen to what companies do business with your business, and go find those companies. Go find those companies. Let's say you go find a company and you connect with somebody. If you can find one email of a company, odds are you can find everybody's contact information via email because, huge secret, my email is tnatsky@suns.com. I can say that because you can find it on LinkedIn. Odds are most other emails in our company are the relatively similar format. So if you can find John Smith at Target, and his email is smithj@target.com. Go look up the CEO's name. Go look up the marketing director's name. You got a pretty decent shot. That's how you prospect. Let's say you get a prospect. How do we start a sales intro? Cold call. I'm calling Hunter. He doesn't know who I am. I've never called him before. Most people starts with, hello, my name is, I'm calling with blank. How are you? Most people start with, hello, my name is Tanner. I'm calling with Attitude Effort Results. How are you? That, from what I've heard, is probably about 90% of salespeople in the world. That sucks. Because you sound like a person. Because 90% of salespeople in the world do that. Hello, my name is. I'm calling with. How are you? Who the F are you and what do you want? Get into it. How are you? I don't even know who you are. Why are you calling me? What is this about? I'm busy. Hello, my name is. I'm calling with. How are you? Sucks. Stop it. Don't do that, please. As we get into different points, I'm going to utilize what I have learned and what I have been taught over the last 6 years. I learn every single time I get into a sales meeting something different. You will never be perfect. There is no perfect. You have to do what you do best, okay? I start with, I know you weren't expecting my call. Ring, ring, hello. Other person on the line. Hello? Hunter, I know you weren't expecting my call. I promise I'll be brief. Then I go into the benefit statement. Hunter, the reason for my call is I insert where I found the lead. I actually saw your business. I saw Attitude Effort Results in the Phoenix Business Journal. Sounds like you guys are growing rapidly. We actually work with other companies that utilize us for insert your company benefits. In sports, they utilize us for new business prospects, current clients, and employees. Hunter, this is where you're going to be different from other people. You're going to undersell it right here. Hunter, I'm not sure if this is something that you would even find value in. Because I have no idea. I have no idea what they value. I have no idea if what we do can help them. The worst thing, I get these all the time because my name is connected to the Attitude Effort Results page, or even just my name is connected to the organization I work with. Emails, Instagram, LinkedIn messages. Hey, I can do this for you. I can increase your marketing by 42,000% and it'll cost you $4. Let's set up a call. How do you know that marketing is valuable to me? Hey, I can do this for your business. We're the best in the business and we can do it for you. How do you know that I care? How do you know that I value that? That's why people are salesy, because sales individuals will get on this side of the phone and call Hunter. Ring, ring, Hunter. Hunter, I work with Attitude Effort Results. My name's Hunter. How are you? Blah, 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 blah. Guess what, Hunter? I can do this for you. I know that whoever you're working with now, we can do it better. How do you know that? How do you actually know that? And how do you know that they want to switch? That's why I actually mess with people. If you work for a financial institute, don't LinkedIn message me because I will play with your brain for weeks. I will just LinkedIn message you literally for weeks, running you in circles until you finally don't reach out to me anymore. Because they'll reach out and they'll be like, I can maximize your investments by doing this. And I don't even know who you're working with, but we're way better and I'm great at my job. This is me on LinkedIn. So you're telling me I don't know how to manage my money? You don't even know who I work with. How do you know you're better than them? That's why sales has a bad rap, because every salesperson gets on a line and they say, I'm better than who you're working with. You should work with me. Listen, if you want to take that approach, fine. You're going to be like everybody else in the world, and that's fine. But the approach that I've taken, the approach that I've been coached on throughout multiple professional sports organizations across 3 different sports industries, 3 different sports leagues, is to care for the person on the other end of the line. So you undersell it. Hunter, I'm not sure if this is something you would find value in, but I thought it made sense to at least reach out. Thought it at least made sense to reach out. What are your thoughts on getting together, sharing a couple ideas, and if anything makes sense, we can talk next steps. An important piece of the last sentence there is getting together. How do you guys feel? This is a question. I genuinely want you to answer this. How do you feel about the word appointment? When I say appointment, what comes to mind? What comes to mind? Doctor's appointment, dentist appointment, financial appointment, car appointment. My car just broke down, so I got an appointment for my car. Somebody asked me to take him to an appointment. The word appointment has a bad connotation because generally speaking, when you get out of an appointment, you just paid something and it probably wasn't for something really fun. You're not like coming out of a doctor's appointment being like, yes, dude, I just paid $3,000 to get my nose checked out and they cleaned my nose up and gave me a medication that I could have gotten for $5 out of the counter and I just paid $3,000. Let's go. Yes. You don't walk out of a dentist appointment and be like, hey, you have 3 cavities. You're like, woo-hoo-hoo, 3 cavities, let's go. No. If you do, you're weird. Or you just have a better outlook on life than me. One or the other. The word appointment has a bad connotation. So use the words getting together. Because what does getting together make you feel? How do the words getting together make you feel? I'll give you a second to answer that yourself. Makes you feel welcome, right? What happens when you get together? Family get together, birthday parties. Hey, let's get together for the game this week. Hey, let's get together and have dinner. It's a good connotation. So you want some actionable sales skills? Switch from let's get a meeting or let's get an appointment to let's just get together. Because at the end of the day, I have no idea if what I have is going to work for you. All right, I'm going to roll through this intro call right away. Again. And another thing with sales, don't try to sell them on the phone. Again, anything that I'm telling you right now, if you have a manager that disagrees or you have a process in place with your company, do that. Don't listen to me. I don't want you to get fired. But these are my opinions, and this is what I've learned over the last 6 years. Don't try to sell them on the first call. Unless it's an inbound lead, right? We're talking about cold leads, specifically business to business. The goal of the first phone call is to book a get-together. The goal of the first phone call is to have a second meeting in person. That's the goal. That's the only goal of the first phone call. If you're in sales, the only goal of you cold calling somebody is to talk to them again. Now, if you're B2C and you're running a product that doesn't have multiple decision makers, maybe you can do it right away. Because B2C is typically is business to consumer, so it'd be us to them, right? Typically, that's the only decision maker. If somebody called me right now and said, hey, I'm looking for you to buy Arizona Diamond's season tickets, and it was just me and it wasn't with the business, I might have to talk to Callie about it. But other than that, that's it. We just make the decision. That's different. I'm talking business to business where there's most likely a process in place. And you're not going to sell them on the first call. So by trying to sell them on the first call, you actually sound salesy, which people hate. So let's go through this again, nice and slow. Intro call, cold prospect. You prospect, great. You have all the information. You find it. You call. Ring, ring. Hello. I know you weren't expecting my call. I promise I'll be brief. Because you will be brief. I promise I'll be brief. Hunter, name usage is important. The reason for my call is I saw your billboard on the highway. We actually work with construction companies just like yours. Hunter, those construction companies utilize us to entertain their current clients, to go get new business, and to keep their employees happy. Hunter, I'm not sure if this is something that you and your construction company will find value in, but I thought it at least made sense to reach out. Hunter, what are your thoughts on getting together, us sharing a couple ideas? And if anything makes sense, then we can talk next steps. It takes 30 seconds, guys. It is non-confrontational. It is truly us looking for a solution together, and it is not salesy at all. So for those of you looking to get into sales, for those of you looking to get into this Baylor S3 competition, here's something that is a great, great, great sales starter. A great sales starter. The next thing is going into a meeting, or if you schedule a second phone call, okay? What are your thoughts on getting together? Hey, I love that idea. Let's get together. Let's get on a phone call, Zoom call, meeting, in person, coffee, whatever. When you're in person, you need an agenda. And in fact, you need an agenda pretty much any time in life. It sets a direction. Every time I get on a phone call with one of you guys that reach out to us, I set an agenda every single time. One, I set the boundaries pretty clear, like, hey, go listen to a couple episodes so you know who I am, you know what I'm about. So when we get on a phone call, we can specifically talk about you and what you want. That's laid out very clear before. As soon as you answer, every time, hey, Tanner, how you doing? Good. Doing good. I'm doing good. Stop asking that question, please. I'm doing good. I'm fine. You don't care anyways, actually. So stop asking the question. As soon as you do that, this is how every conversation goes. Yeah, I'm doing fine. Just leaving work because I value my time, and I have conversations in the car so I can value more time with my fiance. Whew, wow, that's weird. We've been married for a while. I probably shouldn't say that anymore. With my wife when I get home. So I don't have to have phone calls when I'm at home. I take calls in the morning on my drive to work because I maximize my time, and at night. So the call typically goes like this. Hey, Tanner, how you doing? Good, just leaving work. Awesome. Well, I'm doing this, and this. And then there's a pause. And then I say, here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to ask you a couple questions because I want to genuinely learn about you. And I do. I want to learn about you. I want to learn about your background, your experiences, where you want to go because I want to help you, and I can't help you if I don't know about you. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about us. Talk a little bit about the podcast. Talk a little bit about me. After that, we're going to see how we can get together. If something makes sense, then we talk next steps. So it is simple. Every time you get on a second phone call or a meeting in a business sense, 4 steps. Talk about you, which is them. Talk about us, our side, because it's important if you're selling something or if you're on a sales call that you explain your product. Talk about we, see if we can do anything together, because selling is about us doing it together, not about me selling you a product or you buying a product. It's about us. Then, if something makes sense, You don't want to pressure them. We talk next steps. So it's you, us, we, next steps. And it sounds something like this. Hey, Hunter, is 30 minutes still good for the meeting today? Yeah, actually, 30 minutes is still good. Awesome. Here's what we're going to do today. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. I want to learn about you. I want to learn about your business. I really want to genuinely see if it's a fit for you and the company. And then I'm going to talk about us. I'm going to talk about what we do, how we partner with other businesses to grow their business, how we utilize our spaces to help companies catapult their current efforts. If something makes sense for us, we then can talk about that, share some ideas. After that, if everything goes well, we'll talk next steps. How does that sound? And everybody who gets on a call with me, you're going to hear that same flow. And you end it with, how does that sound? Because then they can say, or you end it with, is there anything you'd like to add? Hey, actually, yeah, I really like talking about this. How does that sound? Yeah, it sounds good. Let's go. Awesome. Right into it. It doesn't waste any time. Stop wasting people's time. Stop wasting people's time. It's so annoying. People are on the phone in the first 10 minutes are how you doing, and then you get to the end and you're like, we just wasted 10 minutes. Like when my parents call me, I use an agenda. When Hunter calls me, I use an agenda. Callie and I don't really call that often. When anybody with my manager calls, we do an agenda. Anytime somebody calls for attitude, effort, results, I do an agenda. And every single time I call a business or a client, we do an agenda. Because it just sets the direction of the phone call. And that is so, so important. When you're starting out, I recommend that you write a couple questions down. Write questions down so you know the question path. You know the flow before you start. Your calls are going to be crisp. They're going to be direct. They're going to be efficient. As you do this more and more, you're going to get quick on your feet. But that doesn't always allow you to keep the direction of the conversation where you want to go. Because after you set an agenda, your question path, your meeting flow, knowing where you want to go is super difficult. And it's very simple at the same time. You're like, what do you mean it's simple and it's difficult at the same time? Well, you only need to answer two questions. What do they want? Why do they want it? Shout out Tyson Training. Allison, we still need a partnership. I'm going to sing your song and I'm going to look like a fool. It's simple. Two things. It's taken me 6 years to learn this thing. You only need two things when you're in a meeting and you're asking questions. Two things. That's it. I'm going to sing to the tune of the wheels around the bus go round and round. What do they want and why do they want it? What do they want and why do they want it? What do they want and why do they want it? All the way to the close. That's it. That's the sales technique that you came here for today. That's all you got to do. What do they want and why do they want it? What do they want and why do they want it? What do they want and why do they want it? All the way to the close. That's it. Now it's stuck in your head forever. Congrats. You're welcome. It's stuck in my head forever. But if your question path is based around them and what they want and why they want it, you're going to be able to have a beautiful, beautiful meeting, phone call, get together. And that's where we're going to stop today because it's an in-depth and very dense episode. And I really, really want to highlight the National Collegiate Sports Sales Championship because that in-person event is February. We're going to do another episode that's going to keep going through sales tactics, techniques in January because that's right before this sales competition and championship. Practice this. It is not easy. It is not easy. Turn your prospecting brain on. Turn your sales skills brain on. All it is communicating, finding out what they want, finding out why they want it. How about going on a date? Why should they go on a date with you? What do they want? Why do they want to go on a date with you? That's it. Hey, let's go get together for drinks. I'm going to try to sell you on the idea of coming to get the drinks. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? Let's go do it. This is a life skill that you need to have. So today we talked about the sales intro, starting an in-person meeting, and a little bit of the question flow. Listen, understand that there is no by-the-book good time to ever connect with individuals, right? You are always interrupting someone's day. Always. Just take more at-bats. Just take more at-bats. That's all I'm saying. Today's episode was very sales-heavy, and that's okay. Because in your career, you will either sell or you will service, and these skills are important, very important in your everyday life. We just scratched the surface today. I've been doing sales training. I've been in sales training for 6 years. There's no way we can cover it in episodes. We could do a year's worth of episodes and we wouldn't cover it. But I hope today gave you 1 or 2 skills that you can start to implement, that you can use as actionable steps to go be better in your day-to-day life. And if you're in sales, you just got a masterclass in 30 minutes that's taken me 6 years to learn. My goal, my passion is to shorten that gap for you. I hope we did that for you today. If you're a college student and you want to get to that National Collegiate Sports Sales competition and championship, it's in February. And as it gets closer, we're going to do another episode. But right now, go sign up for it. And if you in any capacity want to work in sports sales or have ever thought about it just once, you don't even need to think about it twice, just once, go sign up for that. Make it happen. Sacrifice your time, your money to attend that because it will catapult your career, I promise you. We're fired up about our recent partnerships, especially the one with Baylor S3. Obviously, today we've talked about it a lot. And the Clubhouse. Go check us out on social media. Share with all your friends. You have an opportunity to impact others by sharing this. Let's inspire others and continue.